Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Hey, Tom, where are we?
I'm Tom Bellinger. Where are we? We are at the Garden Lab.
I'm Kelly Ray Kirkpatrick. This is my urban farm, the Garden Lab.
Urban farmstead here in East Center Street area of Rochester, Eastwood neighborhood.
Yeah.
East Side neighborhood.
East Side neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Well, I use the term landscape terraining, or I don't know, whatever. We're changing. We've adapted the landscape to make this a better, more productive garden, and also to avoid things like runoff that's going down storm sewers and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of sculpting going on here. What is it, 6.5 feet drop from southeast to the northwest?
No, southwest to northeast. There's a 6.5 foot drop.
Where am I facing?
So this morning we are talking about how to keep water where it stands. Water should stand where it lands, whether you're using gutters, whether it's wintertime and you've got ice freezing because you don't want to use salt. That's not good. Whether you've got puddling happening anywhere. So as someone who grows a lot of food for both sales and donation, and I also grow a lot of flower plants, natives, for sale and donation, it's really important to me that I am not wasting water. Any farmer will tell you irrigation is super important. We've heard a lot about droughts recently. So with that 6.5 foot drop from the southwest corner to the northeast corner of my 2 lots,
that's what it is, southwest and northeast. Okay.
Yes, there was a significant amount of drainage. Water always flows. It continues to flow when it's actually in the ground. After a rain, it continues to move through the soil. Hydrology, right? It continues to move through the soil to the lowest point. Water always finds the lowest point. So what we've been doing, mostly my beefy, brawny guy here, is we have been digging out higher areas of the terrain and moving it to lower areas.
But we do have a process for that.
We have a process for that. And as a sites trained designer, I know how important it is to not import a lot of foreign materials to a site and use what you have on the site for economic, environmental, ecological purposes. So as we move soil from the front areas, the south areas of my 2 lots, to the north areas, the lower lots, then we can capture that use of soil. And we dig it out, we sift it, and we move it. And what we've been able to do is, last summer I built a series of walls to terrace the back portions of this property here. Go the other way, Tom.
Yeah.
There you go, so walls here that are helping to level the lot, and then temporarily we've got some like wood, almost like barricades, because there's a 30-inch level difference between the concrete portion where the greenhouse is going to go and the elevation up above. So
we created some of that this year.
Well, you did. You did most of that digging out and then sifting. So when the greenhouse is going to sit over here, we needed to dig in on the west side, but the east side is 18 inches high. So keeping it level keeps that water where it needs to go. And one of the processes that Tom used is, when you dig the soil out, you use a sifter. And I created this sifter. These are super easy to make. Take a portion of agricultural panel, can be the 4x4 or 6x8, doesn't matter. And then I wrapped it with hardware cloth. And this just rests on top of the wheelbarrow.
Make sure you have the right side up.
This just rests on top of the wheelbarrow,
side,
and as you throw your clumps of sod, weedy, perennial weed roots, that helps to sift that detritus, that organic debris, organic matter, and exclude it from what we call grade A.
Grade A.
It's our little joke. We make some grade A.
And to confide, there's been some other human objects that have been left in the soil.
A lot of broken glass. When you deal with historic urban soils, historic urban soils often have a lot of debris, trash, garbage, because there was no curbside collection long ago. Folks did a lot of dumping, they did a lot of burning. That's why it's important on urban soils to go ahead and test your soils. You can use phytoremediation, you can just remove soils, and there's all kinds of things you can do. But on historic, urban landscapes, which is where these gardens are,
in 40s, right? 30s.
Most of these houses are the late 1800s to the 1920s and some 1930s.
30s,
Yeah, this section over here was all urban farm community gardens until the houses were built in the 50s to 60s. A lot of the residences around here used all of that space to grow food, much like they did on the north section of Kutzke Park.
Yep.
along, is that Cascade Creek along there? Yeah, along
Yeah.
Cascade Creek. And then just south of Silver Creek here, south of the two cemeteries, those were all used along the train tracks as well for community gardens. So this is historic area for growing lots of food, and that's what we're kind of returning it back to.
Yeah, and as gardeners, master gardeners, one of the things we try to promote are rain gardens, if you can do that in your property, to do the same thing, retain the water, the rain, and don't dump it to your
Water
neighbor.
should stand where it lands. Exactly.
So if you can put those things in, that's very important, not only for your own property, but also the neighboring property and the storm sewers. So rain gardens in other ways.
See where you can reduce your grade. So to collect water, I have 2 boulevard bioswales, or 1 with the others in process.
Yep.
You know, solarize your soil so you're not moving so many weeds and it gets all killed, or occlude soil, light from the soil to kill all your weeds. Lots of things you can do, but look at those areas where you have runoff and try and take care of that to preserve the water.
And since this is an urban farm, we were looking for more production, and so that's why the terrain was very important. So to change. So anything else, Kelly?
That's it.
That's a wrap. All right, everybody. Have a nice day.
Rock your day.
Bye-bye.